Here's the Fed about to make a move that could send the real estate market soaring. The Federal Reserve is pivoting not to raise interest rates, and this could lead to massive inflation and be a major impact on the housing market. The Fed's primary tool to control inflation has been to raise interest rates. When interest rates are higher, it's more expensive to borrow money, and this slows down the economy and dampens down inflation. But if the Fed doesn't raise interest rates, it has less ability to control inflation. And these are some of the concerns and issues that the experts are looking at to say that the Fed is pivoting too early. In other words, they are not raising interest rates like perhaps they should. They have stopped raising interest rates, and perhaps this is too premature. The headlines have said that inflation that was in the 8s is now about 7.7%, so that's good news. Secondly, the Fed has a history of pivoting too early. Let's take a look back in history. For example, in the 70s, the Fed did pivot too early. They stopped raising interest rates and inflation took off again. This led to that resurgence of inflation in the 1970s. On one hand, it could lead to higher mortgage rates and lower home prices as investors and buyers become more concerned about inflation. But on the other hand, we could see a resurgence in home prices as those same buyers and investors look at real estate as an inflation hedge. And of course, in an inflationary environment, investors and buyers look for somewhere to park their money that is somewhat protected from inflation. And this always leads to more demand as people look to buying that residential real estate asset that has always been that protection against inflation. A Fed pivot by not raising interest rates can create more volatility in the housing market as those investors and borrowers and buyers out there get more confused about what's going to happen next, thus making it more difficult to predict where those house prices are going to go next. The real estate market is constantly changing. Click on the video on your screen right now so you can stay up to date with all the changes affecting housing inventory, mortgage rates, the market, and you. See you on the next video. Vroom.